Welcome back. Look, if building your community feels a bit like shouting into a totally empty room, trust me, you are not alone. In today's explainer, we're diving deep into the Community Growth Library, specifically focusing on the volume titled Growing and Monetizing Your School Community. We are going to unpack exactly how to turn that quiet room into a full-blown revenue-generating machine. Let's get right into it.
The core promise of this handbook is absolutely powerful. It's about getting more members, driving way higher engagement, and creating actual, predictable, recurring revenue. Because honestly, community growth isn't an accident. It's highly intentional. It's all about attracting the exact right people, sparking genuine interaction, and then, crucially, translating all that energy into a steady income stream.
Now, it's really important to realize that this specific school handbook doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It's actually part of a much, much larger ecosystem. We're talking about a complete 6-handbook collection built from the ground up to completely eliminate guesswork across the board. Whether you're building out on Skool, Facebook groups, or Discord, this library treats community building like a literal science. For today's explainer, though, we are keeping our laser focus right on those specific school tactics.
Okay, welcome to the core dashboard, and I really want you to notice that big number right there, 99. What we're looking at is a highly curated database of 99 proven ways to attract members and grow your revenue. Because let's be real, you don't need more fluffy theory. You need an organized, systematic approach where you can just search for a specific strategy, grab it, and get straight to work.
And that brings us to this incredibly bold, essential takeaway. The handbook gives you the proven strategies. They work for any school community. And I love this because it's so true. Whether you're running high-ticket B2B software mastermind or, a Saturday morning hobbyist knitting group, the fundamental architecture of human psychology, it's exactly the same. This toolkit basically lets you adapt those core principles for wherever your specific community happens to be standing today. So to keep you from getting totally overwhelmed, all 99 of those strategies are divided into 6 core growth categories. Think of this as your roadmap. You absolutely shouldn't try to master all 6 of these in a single afternoon. Instead, you just identify your biggest current bottleneck. Maybe you're low on leads, or maybe your members are just way too quiet, and you dive into the exact pillar designed to solve that specific problem. Let's do a quick run-through of the first 3 critical categories here. First up is foundations, which is all about building from the ground up. We're talking positioning, finding your niche, setting the right tone. You literally cannot skip this step. Next is get more members, which houses 26 distinct marketing strategies to keep fresh blood flowing in. And third is increase engagement, which focuses entirely on keeping those members super active. This logical flow is so vital. Think about it. There is 0 point in deploying 26 marketing strategies if your foundation is cracked, right? And if you dump 100 new people into a totally dead group, they're going to churn out immediately. This structure sets you up for actual long-term success.
So, zooming in on that third pillar, the goal is pretty straightforward. Keep members active, participating, and coming back day after day with proven engagement rituals. And man, I absolutely love that word, rituals. Engagement isn't just this random act of dropping a meme and crossing your fingers for comments. It's about designing a predictable rhythm. It becomes a natural part of your members' weekly routines. You're creating an environment where logging in feels as habitual to them as checking their email.
Okay, so how do we actually execute those rituals? Well, step 1, welcome every new member personally. I know it sounds almost too simple, but it is incredibly powerful. A personalized welcome shatters the ice immediately and drastically boosts the odds that a new user will actually hit publish on their first post. Step 2, ask better questions. If your community is hearing crickets, you might just be asking closed-ended, uninspiring questions. This playbook shows you how to spark real, fiery discussion. And step 3, celebrate member wins. When you publicly hype up one person's success, you instantly motivate 50 other people while making that winner feel like an absolute champion. Implementing literally just one of these today will spike your participation. Sticking with engagement for just a second, I really want to highlight 2 more fantastic tactical habits here. Reply before you post again and create weekly office hours. Now, reply before you post again is a brilliant rule of thumb. It essentially forces you to stop just broadcasting new content and makes you interact with what your community is already talking about. It flips the dynamic from a one-way megaphone into a real 2-way conversation. And then, create weekly office hours gives your people a guaranteed, dedicated time to access you live. These seem like tiny, almost microscopic shifts in your daily routine, but I promise you, compounded over months, they will completely transform your culture from passive scrollers to active participants. All right, now we're making an absolutely crucial pivot. What's really interesting here is we are shifting from just managing attention to mastering monetization. Notice how the tone changes? The clear goal now is growing your monthly recurring revenue through smart pricing, upsells, retention, and rock-solid systems. This is the exact moment a fun little hobby officially transforms into a serious business. Because you can have the most engaged community on the entire internet, but without structured playbooks to actually generate and keep revenue, you are eventually going to burn out. This is about making sure your hard work actually pays the bills. Let's walk through 3 of the most critical steps to maximize that revenue. First up, increase lifetime value. This simply means stacking so much ongoing value that members stick around for years, not just a couple of months. Second, reduce churn every month. Look, churn is the silent killer of any subscription business. It is exactly like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You have to plug those holes so you aren't desperately hunting for new members just to maintain your baseline income. And finally, track MRR weekly. Framing these as essential weekly routines is what separates the amateurs from the pros. If you only check your revenue once a month, you're essentially driving while looking in the rearview mirror. Tracking it weekly lets you pivot and adjust in real time.
I really want to contrast 2 specific philosophies that stand out in these playbooks. First, we have build systems, not hustle. You know how the creator economy always glorifies the 24/7 grind, right? Always hustling for the next sale. Well, this framework aggressively pushes back against that. It teaches you to build automated systems for your onboarding, your content delivery, and your upselling. And on the flip side, we have create predictable revenue habits. Instead of launching in these frantic, exhausting bursts, you develop smooth, consistent habits that naturally guide your members toward upgrades and renewals. It's a complete paradigm shift away from that exhausting hustle culture, straight into a sustainable, systemized income stream.
Now, as we get all the way down to playbook number 98, we hit what is arguably the single most important concept in this entire explainer: help members achieve results. As a focused learner, it's so incredibly easy to get tangled up in the mechanics, right? The funnels, the metrics, the software. But this concept right here grounds us. It reminds us that all 99 of these strategies, all the slick marketing and clever engagement hacks, they all serve one singular main purpose: member success. If your community isn't actually helping people solve real problems or achieve the transformations they want, literally no amount of clever marketing is going to save it. The product is the result you deliver. Period. Which leads perfectly into this incredibly powerful quote. Your members' success is the strongest marketing strategy you'll ever have. Just really think about the truth in that statement. When your members are actually winning, when they are crushing their goals because of the environment and education you've built, you almost don't even need to market anymore. They naturally become your loudest evangelists. They're sharing testimonials, they're inviting their peers, and suddenly your community is just growing organically like wildfire. Plus, when members win, they don't leave. Your churn drops as close to absolute zero as humanly possible. Investing in your members' success is hands down the most profitable business strategy you can ever deploy. But hey, we are not just going to leave you with a bunch of nice-sounding philosophy today. Right at the end of this module, there's a bright yellow call to action that says, "Quick win. Pick your highest impact playbook and implement it today." And that is exactly what I want you to take away from this explainer. Because knowledge without execution, that's just entertainment. Your action item right now is not to try and tackle all 99 strategies. It's to look at your Skool community right this very second. Identify the one single area that is hurting the most. Maybe it's a lack of personal welcomes, maybe unstructured office hours, or maybe high churn. Pick the corresponding playbook for that problem and implement just that one strategy today to get a quick, decisive win. Bringing our journey full circle today, we're really reminded of the immense value of having this entire 6-handbook ecosystem right at your fingertips. We just did a deep dive into Volume 02, uncovering how meticulously it breaks down growing and monetizing a Skool community. But look, whether you are just launching your first Skool group today, or you eventually expand your empire into Facebook groups or Discord, this systematic, proven approach to building foundations, driving engagement, and securing recurring revenue, it is always right there for you. It's essentially a complete holistic operating system for modern community builders.
The blueprint is right here in front of you. Growing and monetizing your Skool community is part of the Community Growth Library, and you can unlock all 99 of these proven strategies for just $9. The link is right there in the post. Taking action right now is the crucial point, but I want to leave you with this final thought. If you don't build intentional systems for your community today, how many more months are you willing to just keep shouting into an empty room? Go grab your first playbook, and I'll see you in the next explainer.